How's everybody doing out there? Welcome to our CD listening party. We're really stoked to be here. This is everybody. Everybody say hi.
Hello.
What up, peoples?
What's up?
Yeah, so just some introductions. We got Jason, Brett, Shane, Matt here. You guys are going to be able to, as we listen to the album with you guys, you'll be able to ask us questions in the chat if you're interested in anything in particular about the album or about us or about anything in particular, like the balloons in the back of Jason's room there. Then feel free to ask us in the chat, and we'll get back to either verbally or in the chat. And then we're gonna, as we listen to the songs, after the songs, we'll stop. We'll talk about the concepts, the album concepts, and some of the lyrics and all that stuff. But we're mostly here just to hang out and thank you guys for checking out the album, and we're really excited to finally have it released, right, fellas?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I say we jump right into it, Jay. So we're gonna start with the first song on the album. So Jason, go ahead and cue it up and enjoy the song and load those questions up for us, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
All right, kicking it off. ARA.
All right, nice. All right, so check this out. I see the question, what was it like recording during the pandemic? And I've seen a couple of people ask it. So what is it like? Like, what was the process here to record this album when all of us have to, stay 6 feet away from each other, wearing 3 masks and, quarantine to our houses? So what is the process there? Anybody take it?
Interesting. One thing that was cool is we got to spend more time on it, I think. Like, we didn't feel rushed. Especially with the mixing process of things. We record everything ourselves, by the way, with Jason at the helms. Thank you, sir. Yes, I have. Yeah, thank you for specifying which Jason, because there is two.
We got 2.
But that was one good thing, is being able to spend a little bit more time mixing, because you sit, you listen to it, everybody kind of has gives feedback, and it gave us a little bit more time to get it where everybody was happy. That's one positive thing that came out of it.
No
Awesome.
rush. That's
And
for
Jay,
sure.
like the process of sitting in front of your computer for hours on end, like mixing and remixing and re-listening. I mean,
They
you
want
guys
the
probably
dog.
spent quite a bit of time.
I mean, that part never changed because that's how I do every record. I just sit
Changed
down
its
and listen to
clothes.
it over and over again. But I would say one great aspect is we did
Thank you.
quarantine as much as possible, and then we would get together and come together and collaborate our ideas. And it was actually a more collaborative effort, I feel like, this record in the past. And it was a fun process.
All right, awesome. And then the first track is called ARA. For anybody
It's
who
for
hasn't picked
Angry
up-
Reckless Alibis.
excellent. All right, so the yeah, and it's a solid starter for the album. I mean, it feels like almost an opener for a set. You know what I mean? What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I agree. I like that idea, and I also like We Are the Monsters later on as a cool kind of opening for a set too. Those are also good closers as well, but I mean, they could probably tell us better than we can tell ourselves.
Seriously, we should
Sure.
pull.
For sure. Excellent.
but the song itself is basically about like the good fight. The argument through fiery eyes we thrive, waking the dead. Your neighbors. It's a quick little story behind it lyrically. Nothing
Nice.
too original or unique about it, but fun little jam for sure.
For sure. Awesome. Good. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to ask before we get into any more of the songs is the concept for the name of the album and the concept for the cover art, which is fantastic, by the way. We got to holler out the artist again.
Yeah,
But,
that would be Monster Mark 138. Great artist. We worked with him. He did our Blood Junkie logo as well. Cool guy. And then obviously, Ghouls, girls. Fun little
True.
spin on the Motley album from back in the day.
Yeah. We weren't on motorcycles. That was one idea once, remember?
We talked about it. I had one a while ago. I had to sell it because it got too scary driving around in Irvine, but
Yeah.
it was fun
Yeah.
while I had it for a little while.
yeah.
If we
No.
did wigs and did the motorcycles, that could have been a treat.
All right, let's move on to the next track
All right.
because this is personally my favorite track.
Me too.
Yeah, this one's great.
All right.
What is it? Oh, we got to mute? Okay.
Seems like he's headed for catastrophe. That seemed to function like a normal human being. He prays to God, sometimes it helps him breathe. Now science tells him that there's no one listening. Now Johnny can't kick like this, nowhere, no more.
Okay, so I have to say that's in my top 3 for this album. I love that song.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
it's got
So,
a great vibe.
Yeah, so Jason, you had mentioned the 80s vibe to it. Talk a little bit about what you guys were going for there.
Well, this was actually, Brett. When we did this track, Brett was really listening to The Crew. I mean, all these '80s hair bands. So he was heavily influenced at the time. So when he was giving me his creative direction, I took that to heart. And yeah, the way this track came out was really quick, and just honestly, I love the breakdown with the '80s guitar riffs going on. I mean, I don't know. I think it just was one of those songs that just came really easy for us.
Nice. And Brett, where were you going with this lyrically? Because this one, I mean, some great lyrics. I have to say, the chorus especially, the lyrically is fantastic. It's some of my favorite lyric work that you do on this
Yeah.
album.
So it's about, Johnny who can't kick, which obviously is inspired by Cobra Kai. Sweeping no,
Naturally, yeah.
completely joking, but I found that incredibly funny when I kind of
That's
put
not bad.
while watching the last season of Cobra Kai, which was hilarious.
Threw me off for a second.
But so yeah, so if anybody wants to reach out, Cobra Kai, I think season 3 will be the next one, or maybe it's 2, I don't remember. But the song is perfect for Cobra Kai because they could totally pretend that it was written for the show. So, but the song's about addiction. It's about depression, the struggles, the real life thing that a lot of people have issue with. It's definitely one of our deeper tracks, I would say.
Yeah, that line you say expresses himself. Was it with bouts of silence?
Yeah, and I think that's something I know I do, where it's a little bit easier to isolate yourself than it is to go out sometimes. So that song definitely, it's a very relatable one for me, most definitely.
Yeah, awesome, great.
So hey Matt, I think we should give a shout out to the international following. I saw UK, Serbia represented, Ireland. I think I missed a few, but we got a pretty diverse crowd out there.
All over the world. Hello to all.
Yeah, hello to all. The best way to say it, because then it gets too much. Yeah.
Yeah, right. We'll try to hit them in the chat as it looks like we'll be able to respond more to the chat in between or while the songs are playing. So maybe we'll take that format. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one then. The third one on the album. Jay, you want to cue it up and give us the name?
What is the name? I don't even know. What's the third one here?
Monsters.
Right.
We Are the Monsters. Okay. Enjoy.
There you go.
Broken, my obsessions got me bleeding out through open veins. Cuts from my depression with the ghosts of those I could not say. Faceless people blinded, rotting out the unknown.
All right. So first question that I saw was somebody had asked the inspiration for this particular song. And I have to put in, and I could be wrong about this, but Brett, weren't we talking about this being the name of this album for a little bit, the title track?
Yeah. Actually, I think that was like the original idea. And then Jason actually came up with the fact that, Along Came a Spider. We had kind of already used a song title as the album name and decided to kind of, come up with something a little bit different this time around.
Yeah, and I think it works doing the ghouls in relation to, girls because of the 80s influence that you see so often on this particular album.
Yeah, it's subtle. I mean, we don't sound anything like Motley Crue, but it's there. And there's even a couple lyrical tags in some of the later songs where,
Right.
you'll hear familiar, looks, if looks could kill, and, stuff like that.
Okay, so we have to ask the content here about We Are the Monsters. Was this a little bit based upon everything that we lived through in 2020? Or?
No, it's funny because it wasn't. But it was at the same time, because it's always been there. We're just seeing more of it now. It's everybody's got cameras in their pockets, so it's a lot more apparent that there's an ugly face in society sometimes that comes out, unfortunately, very clear. And that's kind of what the song is in tune with.
Very cool.
But yeah, great timing as far as everything kind of went to crap, and that song definitely resonates with the current state of things for sure.
That works for everything right now. I also still think that'd be a great opener.
Yeah,
How you open it.
or a closer too, for sure.
Yeah.
That's always something bands have, to figure out, what do you open with, what do you close with, so it's funny. We try to always put, thought into that kind of stuff. That's why Shane keeps bringing that up, because it's actually been difficult for us, I think, in the past to figure out, what do we open with tonight,
I feel like sometimes we spontaneously done that too. Where it's just been backstage.
You want that,
like,
you want
all right,
energy, you want to start off with a bang, but you don't want to shoot your load too soon,
for sure.
Right.
All right, well, let's for the sake of time, let's move on to the next one then, which is Death Becomes Her.
What can it be? A divine apology, an institution of absolution. Well, that's news to me, just a crude indecency.
Yep.
All right. So I have to say again, I think that is definitely in my top 3 off this album too. I really, really like that song. As a matter of fact, the chorus was stuck in my head all day today. So Shane, this was one of the ones that you did vocally. You came up with the lyrics here. What was this one about? Like where were you when you wrote this one?
This one was a bit depressing in that sense on that, but my grandmother passed away this summer, so it was kind of a surprise, but not a surprise, in how kind of death just kind of messes with your life, and how there's, even when it seems like it's negative, there's still positives to pull from it. And she had a great life, and she had a great family, and she kind of brought us all together, but it's still confusing, and it's that kind of thing. So it really lyrically came very easy for me on the chorus, at least. And then for the verses, I just kind of went with a lot of confusion. But the rest was like, all right, well, we'll take this ride together. We'll see you on the other side, kind of thing.
Nice. Yeah, great lyrics, man. Definitely. And especially because they mean so much to you, that's when, they're so authentic, and that's the best part about it. And
Absolutely.
Jay, that was some, I felt like I heard some 80s metal guitar going on there.
Where? What part?
What part?
Yeah, which part of the song?
Well, there's some Iron Maiden influences there, especially in the the little licks in the intro. But the bridge I actually had in the chat on the feed was kind of thrice inspired. I actually did some fingerboard tapping, which I never do. So I thought it'd be interesting to try something different, mix it up a bit. But
that was rad. And then I liked Brett's idea of getting me to do that last vocal, a little Darby-esque for kind of the finale.
Growl.
Yeah, it's cool.
Kind of helped put the little icing on that cake. Yeah.
good song, Shane. Good song.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Great tune, man.
All right, so the next one is Some Old Fashioned. Cue it up, Jay.
Yeah.
No, that's not the right song.
Messing it all up, man. And you're muted. You're talking to no.
Muted, and you're muted.
I screwed that completely up. Let's do that again. Sorry. Boom. It's the Ballad of Nancy Thompson.
Yeah.
You guys like
It's my real voice, by the way. I'm faking it right now.
Some things can be forgiven, and some things not at all. What brings us all together?
All right.
So I didn't hear it. Can you play the beginning of that song again really, really fast? Just that little opener, just because I missed it. So that's my real voice. I'm totally using like a vocal thing right now to change it to sound like this. Just wanted to be very, very clear and upfront about that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I came out of the shell a little bit on that one and I missed it. So, you know, it's a big moment for me.
You know, I had a feeling that
Whoa.
was. I had a finger that was you. No, okay. So Brett, you have to talk about the Nightmare on Elm Street influence here, especially the line in the chorus about the tap dancing on the ceiling, because that's incredible.
Dancing on the ceiling, but yeah.
Dancing on the ceiling.
Yeah, no, that's when what's her name?
Nancy.
Yeah.
No, it's the friend, but yeah, when she's just brutalized, dude, it's nuts. So Nightmare on Elm Street was like, that was my like first horror movie when I was a kid growing up that I watched, and for whatever reason I was terrified. I mean, obviously terrified to take a bath. That is the given, but what scared me about the bath was the cloth, not the claw, but the cloth, because it sounded like claw to me. So I was actually scared of a rag, you know, taking baths as a kid, because that movie was just so horrifying, but I loved it. And I think that's what got me so into horror movies, because it stuck with me. And I mean, it really, like, it terrified me as a kid, you know? So, but yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, good, you know, good movie to write a song about for sure.
Yeah, great idea. And while we're here, let's just throw out a fun topic. Favorite scary movie of all time?
Can't answer that.
All right, what's a good one then? What's a good one that would be in your top 10?
Nightmare on Elm Street original.
The
Texas
Exorcist is one of my big ones too, obviously.
Yeah.
I like the
What do you guys
quirky ones, man. I like Return of the Living Dead, you know, the ones that are fun. You know, the ones that have a really serious tone. Like I love like all horror movies, but you know, sometimes those get a little hard to rewatch over and over again. It kind of, you know, makes you, you know, numbs you out a little bit. So I like the funner ones that usually have a little bit of comedy.
Is
you
funner
know?
a word? You just say funner?
But is funner not a word? I don't know.
I think actually it is now these days.
Yeah.
Oh, it is these days. Yeah.
I mean, if they made Google a word, then you know.
It's in the dictionary. Yep.
Right.
All right, awesome. Let's move on to the next one then.
What is the next one? Okay.
I think the next one is This Blood's for You.
Okay.
Suddenly, our senses fill with glee. Surrender on your knees, like giving blood. Close your eyes, don't fight it, no surprise. Delighted, tell me now, this blood's for you. This blood's for you. This blood's for you. This blood's for you. Patiently waiting just till dawn. What's fading across your heart? Now or the die. Fall asleep forever, don't look back, and never tell no one. This blood's for you. 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 This blood's for you.
Okay, so I have to ask, obviously with this song, Brett, where does the chorus refrain come from?
Spuds
Right.
McKenzie, dude. Yeah, straight up Spuds McKenzie. This bud's for you. This blood's for you. It's about dying.
No, for anybody who wasn't a child of the 80s, what do you mean Spuds McKenzie? They don't even know. There's some people in the chat
They
probably.
might not know Spuds.
He was a weird looking dog.
For
Little
anybody that
bit
doesn't know, Spuds McKenzie was the mascot for Budweiser, actually, and they just
I
did a
believe it
bunch
was
of
Bud,
studies
yeah.
with them, and the logo was "This Bud's for you," and so Brett took that and made it "This Blood's for you," which fits the genre. And there was a question. They said, "What artists influence you guys?" And this doesn't have to be a favorite band, but what's an artist right now that you're listening to that's kind of influencing the your playing and the kind of music you're writing?
I think everybody should.
Yeah.
China.
I think, Brett, you were doing the same thing clearly with, like, I was really getting into, honestly, 80s hair metal. I was just stuck on it. And with that, even though this probably doesn't make any much sense to, but I was also getting into old Danzig, besides just the Misfits, but just kind of hearing his more moody type vibe. And that's what I had been listening to a lot lately.
Yeah, for me, I actually, like, I don't remember the last time I really even put on like a punk record, man. I've gone like completely back in time, and I mean I'm on like a full-blown like 70s kick right now. Like, I've been listening to like serious 70s stations every single morning when I wake up, shower and stuff. But yeah, lots of 80s metal, like Slaughter and Skid Row and Kiss, like just lots of things that I don't think you would even think if you listen to us. Once again, there's always subtle little influence, I think, in our music, but you don't necessarily hear it unless you're looking for it,
Yeah, I started on metal. I think all of us kind of like metal,
Yeah.
I grew up on it. Megadeth.
Iron Maiden is a big one too, obviously.
Yeah, there you go. Wear that shirt.
Yeah.
Awesome.
One of my all-time favorites. Best concert I've ever been to was Iron Maiden, hands down.
Jealous.
Yeah, they put on a good show. All right, so the next one is some old fashioned. Cue it up, Jay.
Keep my thoughts were open minds, go locked up in a bottle, throw it all away. Tight-chested, cardiac arrest, my bones are on the pavement, no one stayed. It's hard to tell you, but our hearts keep hardened over time, like rocks on water. It's our time to sink. Check your story, then change the words you say. Beg yourself for forgiveness in some old-fashioned kind of way. Deep sleep with cigarettes and codeine, alcohol eroding, organs fail. Deep shots of apologetic voices echo through the walls where no one cares. If I can't heal, then there is nothing left to sever. I can't speak with both your hands on the ground I wrote. Check your story and change the words you say. Beg yourself for forgiveness in some old-fashioned kind of way. Check your story and change the words you say. Beg yourself for forgiveness in some old-fashioned kind of way. Check your story, then change the words you say. Beg yourself for forgiveness in some old-fashioned kind of way. Check your story, then change the words you say. Beg yourself for forgiveness in some old-fashioned kind of way.
Okay, so I think for this one, we're going to go to the newest member of the band, the Doctor, as we like to call him, Dr. J. So Jay, the drums on this track are killer. So talk about the recording process for you. And then actually, you know what, being the newest person in the band, like, you know, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Like,
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm not the OG, that's JR over here, but I'm another Jason. So yeah, it was an
You're
immediate
Jason number 2. I'm number 1.
That's right. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, I felt an immediate connection with this band. You guys are awesome. It's been so easy to like fit right in. Brett, this song was you and I. I don't know if you remember. You're like, we got to meet in the studio. We got to meet right now. We got to meet for like 6 hours. I said, what about the other guys? He's like, I don't care. I got to get it out. And we played this and we recorded it. And I can't believe how much of that one first session stuck. Even that ending, which was because I didn't know where to end. The dum 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 dum. So yeah, it's really cool. One thing I did here is I just pulled out the bass drum. You know, it's like snare and hi-hat in the beginning. And so when that bass comes in, then my kick comes back in, and it just like fills it up. And I love that. I love pulling out parts to fill in the space later. So really good songwriting. I love this song. Brett, you added some harmonies late in the game, and it just like elevated the song. It's one of my favorite songs in the album.
Yeah, that's what made this song for me. Like it very acceptance or like Juliana theory kind of influenced harmonies in that chorus for sure, and that pre as well. But that one, you know, that one's about like the internal struggles with yourself a little bit. Like you're in battle, you know, with yourself, which once again I think is another really relatable topic that a lot of people can gel with, you know.
Awesome.
That one I can't wait to play live, by the way.
Oh yeah, live is gonna be
all of them, but that one, like, for some reason, just keeps sticking in my head.
You know, it's funny. This song,
A live perspective.
this particular song, weren't too sure about it, but it soon became a favorite of even some of the fans and us. I didn't expect that. So those are always the interesting surprises that come out when you're doing a record together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the next one, which is Blood Junkie. Go ahead and cue that one up, Jay.
Tina, that's what it was. Yeah, not Tiffany.
Yeah,
Tina.
Tina. It's
Yeah.
Tina.
Useless apathetic trading knowledge with a mirror. When a one-way conversation changes from conflict turns to fear. You can shake your fist at anger even though nobody's home. Entertain hallucinations in a hotel room alone. Let go. Let go. Leaving bodies on the floor. Don't like junkies always looking for a score. Walking through the valley down Ventura Boulevard when I saw some girl beside me selling churros from her car. Then some guy ran up behind her stealing everything she had. Safe to say I found my fix inside this bully sharp dressed man. Let go. Let go. Leaving bodies on the floor. Don't let junkies always looking for a score. Let go. Let go. Leaving bodies on the floor. But junkies always looking for a score. But junkies always looking for a score. Just a junkie left here waiting, wanting more.
Oh, it's the bush.
All right. Love that song. And you know, obviously that was the first one we got to release on this one. We all loved it instantaneously. I mean, that one caught. I remember when Brett came into the rehearsal studio and was like, "Hey, here's this song." And instantly that bass line came into my head. And like I was like, I mean, it wasn't there, but the idea for it started there. I was like, it needs that at the beginning. But and I also really like that keyboard that you guys added in, like just that little bit at the beginning, at the end of the song. I think it adds a really cool feeling to it.
Vampiric feel.
That's right. That's right.
And I must say, Matt, I love the Rancid style bass line. It was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it fits so well. So
I mean, that was what I
Rancid in
was
there,
going
baby.
for. Yeah, good stuff. All right.